Welcome to the Pop-Off with Gene FitzMagic and friends. Your daily sports and entertainment radio show, live all over the world. You're going to want to hear what these guys have to say. With their hot takes, recaps, previews, and predictions, sometimes these guys might get along, but most times, they won't. So see what happens when these guys pop off about the world of sports and entertainment.
Welcome to the Pop-Off Show. This is April 4th, 2023. I'm your host, Chief FitzMagic, and it's episode 2, so we're going to be introducing more people on the cast. So you know what? Without further ado, let's get right into it. Up first, very talented actor. He's been on Late Night Magic with me, Piano Rob, so you've seen him there. In fact, you've probably seen everybody on that's on there at one point. But let's bring in Matt Hamilton.
There I am.
Hey,
I did it. I made it.
He's a podcaster, everybody, and a sports nerd.
Podcaster.
There you go. And a sports nerd. So real quick, we don't go to links on it, but just give a quick rundown of Matt Hamilton for everybody who doesn't know.
Actor, writer, idiot, movie nerd, and sports nerd. So
pretty much.
I think that sums up everything.
I mean, there's a lot there to go over, but it's the perfect fit for the show. So we're glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And now, typically, you'll only be on once this week, but typically be on a few times a week. So we're gonna definitely be talking some hockey. I know you're gonna be like our hockey expert for the most part. So we're looking forward to that, especially with playoffs coming.
Yeah.
But let's get into our next host, Katrina Johnson.
Hey.
Katrina.
Hey.
So tell everybody a little bit about where they might know you from.
Well, you might know me from Nickelodeon's All That, but you might not recognize me. Played a lot of different characters, lots of crazy heavy makeup. I am a podcast enthusiast. I'll be here with all your pop culture juicy gossip, and I'll be I'll be asking the naughty questions.
Yes, she's definitely the Spitfire of the group, I think. So it sounds like I'm 80 years old, Spitfire. But yeah, glad to have you. Another former guest of Late Night Magic with me, Piano Rob. So we want to thank you for being part of this as well. And last but not least, I've interviewed Dominic probably I feel like half a dozen times. It feels like maybe not that many, but a lot. Dominic Lewis, very talented musician. You know him from the Bullet Train, Violent Night, Monsters at Work. But for anybody else that doesn't know, give a little bit of a rundown. I kind of already did. I know you
kind of summed it up. That's my life. That's me. Just 2 movies.
And he's British, by the way, if you couldn't tell. He's British.
It's all fake. I'm actually from Ohio. No, I am English. I write film and TV music, and mad about basketball and baseball and English sports. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
There you go. Well, guys, you know what? We got a bunch of topics to go over today. You know what? Let's do a little bit of a rundown. We're going to talk a little bit of the previewing the 76ers and the Celtics, and we'll talk about the top seeds in the NBA. We're going to talk a little bit of NHL bubble teams, who's going to be in. I know there's a lot of spots. There's very few spots for a lot of teams that are still in the mix. We're going to be recapping the NCAA tournament. The finals were last night. So to me, it was a little bit of a boring tournament or a boring finals, but we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about that Twitter saga, maybe the Gwyneth Paltrow saga. And we're also going to have our guest in the house today, Jay McLaren from Snowfall and from The Rookie. He's an antagonist on 2 current shows. So we'll be talking to him soon. He's a great dude as well. Also, connection with Matt Hamilton. They both were on to Turner and Hooch Reboot. So there's a little bit of a connection there.
May it rest in peace.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. But you know what? Let's get right into it, man. Let's preview that 76ers Celtics game. Here we go. They're playing in Philly. Now, Dominic, I know you're a big basketball fan. This doesn't impact you on the West Coast, but what are your thoughts? Like with this pairing here, because they're both with the 2 and 3 seed. Chances are 76ers aren't going to be able to overtake that 2 seed, but this could be a potential Eastern Conference Final championship matchup. What's your take on their game tonight?
I mean, on the game tonight, it could go either way. I think they're both such strong teams. When we move into the playoffs, I question the Sixers. I don't know if they've got it. I don't know. I mean, being a Clipper fan, I just question Doc Rivers. I just think there's some like weird juju there that's like I don't think he has it in crunch time. So
They did rid themselves of Ben Simmons, though, and that's got to be a plus.
Well, true, very true. I love Joel Embiid. I love that big men are dominating the game again.
Yeah,
but I mean, Tatum is a force, man. It's tough. It's a great matchup.
And especially that matchup, you got Tatum averaging over 30 points a game, Embiid averaging 33 points a game. And Philly is actually the favorite here. They're our home, but they've actually, I don't know if you know, they've lost the first 3 games they played. Philly's lost all 3 of them to Boston. So Boston's 3-0 against them, but Philly's got a 2-point lead, and they're also negative 135 on the money line. So, but here's the one thing too is Boston's got some injuries. They got Robert Williams is definitely out, and Jaylen Brown is doubtful. I think Tobias Harris is the only one that's day to day on the Philly side. But Matt, what are you thinking?
Well, Rob Williams is always out.
It seems it.
Like that. Yeah, I mean, I think come like regular season. I mean, like Dom said, this could go either way, but I like Boston as a team better, even though like Marcus Smart hasn't played great this year, and Boston kind of stumbled out of the All-Star break, didn't look great, and then they've won 5 of 6, and they absolutely smoked the Bucks the other night. So it's like, okay, maybe they're back. And Tatum's kind of struggled a bit after the All-Star break, but he still puts up numbers. He's still putting up numbers.
I feel like defensively he's kind of been a little off. It seems like the energy level's not there.
But Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown's been awesome.
Ever since he had that mask, right? That mask on. He's another player.
Great. And then on the Philly side, like Embiid was, this whole MVP thing that's been going on. Every 2 weeks, there's a new favorite, and I don't remember a time when players were lobbying so hard for themselves. MVP, like it was Jokic like a month and a half ago for sure.
Yeah,
Giannis is kind of always around hanging out, and then Embiid went on that like 2-week stretch. He's kind of stumbled the last couple of games, but it's going to come down to it for that. But for me, it's always like Dom said, come playoff time. Like I don't trust James Harden in the playoffs.
No, me neither.
And he even the other night against the Bucks, like Drew Holiday shut him down. I mean, I shut him down, but he had 11 points and 6 assists.
Well, Drew Holiday is. I feel like to me he's one of those like on a time where there's that much defense in the NBA.
Yeah,
I feel like he has that ability to be an elite defender at times. Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's not surprising that he can shut down someone like Harden, who's. Don't get me. He can do a lot of things on the court, but at the end of the day, he's really just that offensive juggernaut. Where if you can stymie him, you could throw his whole game off.
Yeah, exactly. And Drew Holiday will get some Defensive Player of the Year votes. I'm sure he's having a great year. Same with Robin Lopez on the Bucks. But I mean, I lean Boston. I mean, with Jaylen Brown out, if Jaylen Brown's out tonight, then that's going to be different. If Tobias Harris is out for Philly, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I agree. If Harris is out, it might be a 20-point game at that point.
He makes fucking $38 million.
Is he that highly paid? I mean, he does. I think he does. I think he does a lot of good things. I don't think he does anything great, but he does a lot of. I think he does a lot of the little things good.
Yeah,
he's an 8. He's like a 7 across the board. He's not a 10 in anything, but he's a 7 across the board for me.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be getting paid that much though.
No.
Well, it's good. Like the TV deal's coming up for the NBA, so like there's going to be like you saw Dame get the $60 million. Like there's going to be players. Like there's going to be average players making like $25 million.
And I feel bad for Dame because they're never going to go anywhere.
No,
they're never going to go anywhere. He needed to get out of that town. I love Portland. I love the Blazers, but he needs to go somewhere else. Maybe to the Knicks. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a team, but
well, they got Jalen Brunson, man. They got Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll play with a dual guard system. I'll put them both in there. Let them both play, man. Like
Brunson's been awesome.
Yeah, he really has been amazing.
When they signed him to, I think it's $25 million a year, people were like, "Ooh, that's a bit much for Jalen Brunson." Now it looks like a steal.
I do it. I loved it. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, you know, he never really led a team." But people forget there was a lot of times when Doncic was hurt, he took that team over when Doncic was playing, especially early in the playoffs. And he looked like he looks now. Like he looked like that guy. So to see him now doing it now, I'm not as completely surprised. Like I wanted it to happen when they signed him. I was all for it. And I couldn't be more. I'm even happier now that we even have him because he's done exactly what I hoped he was going to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely surprised. I mean, anytime a Knicks signs somebody and they actually live up to their contract, you got to be a little surprised because that we get snake bitten a lot. But another thing too. Let's not forget also Maxey from Philadelphia has averaged I think about 4 3 points.
He's been great.
averaging 4 3-pointers a game for like the last 10 games.
Yeah.
So he's been phenomenal too. And he's one of those guys that just comes out of nowhere and hits some shots. You don't even think about him. You think about all those other guys they have there.
Yeah.
Maxi's one of those unforgotten guys, or one of those forgotten guys that until he actually makes that big shot, you're like, I didn't even think about Maxi. Like I at least that's me.
Yeah.
Kat, do you have any questions? I know that basketball's like your strong suit. So do you have any questions for the rest of the guys?
Well, I just want to say that I obviously prefer Boston because cream pies are better than cheesesteaks.
There you go.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
if you were betting, who would you take?
I actually, it depends if who's going to be playing or not. I like Philly in this game. I would take them. I would probably take them on the money line. It's negative 190, 135. I'd probably take Philly on the money line.
If Jaylen Brown's out,
Jaylen Brown's out for sure.
Oh, he is? Okay.
No, I'm saying if he is, I say then it's a no-brainer. But
yeah, I think Embiid's good. He's had a couple kind of, bad games, like 25 points. It's not bad, but for him, so I think he really, really wants this MVP, and he's not really hiding it. So I think he might come out like full beast mode. So I'd probably lean Philly tonight too.
You know what? I'm an idiot too. Like I just realized I said the money line. I take them on the spread. They're favorite. I don't need to take them on the money line. I take them on the spread. So I take them as the favorites.
Yeah,
it's a 2-point spread. I think they easily win if as long as everybody's playing and if Jaylen Brown is out. I think Philly can run up the score on them actually. As long as Jaylen Brown is out, it could be a 15-point type game. But who do you got, Tom?
Oh, just to be different, I'll take Celtics because otherwise it's boring. But I just want to see Griffin get in a fight.
You got headbutted the other day. That was great.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I kind of want to see him get punched, but if he throws a punch, I'm good with that too.
That was a good reminder to people that he's still in the league. The headbutt highlight. A lot of people probably forgot he was in the league.
And you know what too is funny is have you seen someone be so dominant at one point in their career and totally almost overnight start to show their age? He was so dominant. Dom, you're a Clipper fan, so you see him a lot. To go from when he was at the Clippers and it was Lob City. And then it was almost overnight he became kind of like this another guy.
Yeah, you know? He was so dominant, and then I don't want to blame drugs, guys, but I've seen it with like really great young athletes like Cody Bellinger, Griffin. I think they just get they get so spaced out and they don't care and they're really arrogant, and it's such a shame because they were so amazing. Bellinger's always high in the interviews. Yeah. He's always like this. It's crazy.
But Blake Griffin had a bunch of knee injuries, didn't he? And that kind of
did. Even in college, he did.
All of a sudden, like he got to a point where he couldn't like jump like he could, and that was like
thing.
Yeah. If you remember his rookie year, he won the Rookie of the Year in his second season because he wasn't able to play in his first season. Of a knee injury. So
and when he was at Ohio, I watched something on him, and he tore his knee or something, and then was back in a week, and it was like framed as, oh, he's a freak. He was healed. It's like he clearly wasn't healed because he's had knee injuries his whole career.
Yeah, they probably just started with some of that. What's that something that they give in the tent? They give you that little shot, and you're back in the
cortisone.
The cortisone shot.
Oh,
yeah. So
I back out. I'm hunched over like an old lady. One little shot in the butt. I'm dancing.
And then a week later, you're in pain again, though, right?
Yeah. But
so is it worth it for that one night? Is it worth it?
It gets you by for that one night for sure.
There you go. It could be the best night of your life, so you never know, right? So, but you know what? Also, let's talk a little bit about the playoffs, these seedings, man. Because the East, I feel like is pretty much set. If Patty can throw up the East one real quick. But there's playoffs, and now we throw up the East one. Patty Puddles always screws up. You guys notice that? I feel like he does.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like the East, if you look at it, right, there's like 4 games left for most teams. It's pretty much set. Like maybe if Boston wins, this is an important game for Boston. If they can win, they have a shot at overtaking the Bucks. They'd be a half a game out with a win, and then who knows what the Bucks do the rest of it. So I feel like the East is pretty much set. Do you foresee anything changing, Dom?
Nothing that interests me. No, it's all it's all
set pretty much, right? Now let's bring up the West because the West is a little crazy right now.
Crazy.
As Dom, now the first 4 teams, they're pretty much locked in. I don't think anything touches those first 4 teams. But if you look from 5 all the way down to 12, Clippers are 11.5 out, tied with so we're at 5, tied with Golden State at 11.5 out, but only a half a game behind them of the Lakers, who are hot right now. Tied with the Lakers and the Pelicans. A game and a half behind them are in the playing game as well is the Timberwolves, and a game behind them are the Thunder. And then you got Dallas and Utah. Who thought Utah would still be here with getting rid of Mitchell, but they're still in the mix. And then Dallas, I think they've lost 7 of 8. They are about as cold as the team can get.
A nightmare.
Dallas are done.
Now, is it the fact that they just can't get on the same page with Kyrie and
who can
and Luka?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when's the last time someone was on the same page with Kyrie?
But they do say he's great in the locker room.
Cleveland,
Nobody ever complains about him in the locker room. That's the one thing.
Well, him and Doncic just gotten like their report came out. They just gotten like a altercation. They had to be separated.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll happen at times. But for the most part,
it's not abnormal. But
so you guys are saying it right now. You gonna say Dallas is out?
Yeah.
You don't think they can make it? They don't think they can win a couple to get to the playoff game?
Doncic is dealing with a calf or a thigh injury or something like that right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean he might be playing through it, but Kyrie, I mean, when's the last time Kyrie? Like he's so good, obviously. So someone's going to give him a contract this summer for sure. But who would line up to be in business with Kyrie? You can't give him a max deal for a lot of years, right? Like he's torpedoed his way out of
every team. Every team.
Yeah.
You know what though? When you see him do some things on the court, though, you're like, nobody else can do that. You'll see him drive the lane, and with his handles, you look at him. I mean, he's got maybe the best in the league right now. And there's things he does. I think him and Jordan Poole might be my favorite, ball handling guys right now. That sounded funny, but I just realized what I said.
I was gonna let it go by.
I'm surprised Kat didn't jump on that one, but I just realized what I said.
Here, I don't know what I'm allowed to do yet.
You be Kat. You can be you. So whatever you feel like you can say when the camera's off, you can say when the camera's on. You do you, Kat. But yeah, I think even Jordan Poole might be my favorite as far as their dribbling, the style of dribbling, what they can do on the court. And this times you'll see Kyrie do stuff, and you're like, there's nobody else on the planet that can do that. Yeah, and it's such a shame. Oh yeah, it's a flat planet, of course. Yes. Is he still sticking with that? I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, you see him do some things, and it's just like, who else can do these things? And it's just a shame. And because you said it, he's done just that. Where it's like you hear these things about he's great in the locker room. He's great in the locker room. So where is there the issue? Where's the disconnect? Because he, like you said, torpedoes himself out of every place he's been. It's not like he left on a good turn. Like he forced his way out of Cleveland. He forced his way out of Boston. He did about everything you could do to get out of Brooklyn. And now he's in Dallas, and it always starts off good, right?
Well, when in Boston, like there was not a good locker room situation when he left.
True.
It's they mended fences afterward, and then now they're like all kind of friendly again. But at the time, like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were not on the same page as Kyrie, because Kyrie had this like arrogant, like, dude, you guys don't know how to win kind of thing, and that's just kind of pissed everybody off. He just
what they should have said
pisses everybody off.
And they should have said, well, you don't either because you have LeBron. And that's the thing too is he was with LeBron and he didn't want to be there anymore. And again, it shows you that he is amenable to patching up relationships because him and LeBron seem to be good again. And they had a problem at the end of that Cleveland run. So who knows? You might see. I would not be surprised if you see him on the Lakers next year.
I would love that. I would love that. Go poison them good.
Or they maybe the Clippers will trade off Russ and they'll take in Kyrie. Would you want Kyrie if he said that?
No.
Would you rather him or Russ?
Nobody wants him. That's the problem.
I would rather Russell Westbrook, to be honest.
Really?
Yes. Because he's just if we make the playoffs, he's not going to play that much. If Paul George does come back, he's not going to play that much.
I mean, Paul George, I mean, he's another guy too that he had that horrific knee injury to come back from when he came back from it, and he's still doing it, But so who do you guys? So like, and we're gonna Patty, I'm gonna ask you to bring it up one more time. So what movement? We'll start. I guess let's start with Kat. What movement do you see on the western side? Let me pull it up because Pat must be asleep at the wheel. There we go. Kat? What do you think? Who do you think is gonna fall out of that? Now, from 10 up they're in the playoffs right now because they're gonna be in the playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that stays the way it is?
No. I think
Trey?
Phoenix is just gonna take a dive and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. I love it.
Don would love that right now because that's the team in front of him. And here's the thing, though, I don't see that happening because they just got Durant back. They were good before Durant got there. Now they just added maybe the top 3 basketball player in the whole planet. If not the best, still. I mean, who knows? He's been hurt a lot. But Matt, what do you? Yeah, that's true. but Matt, where do you see any changes? Any fluidity?
I actually don't see any changes there. I think Dallas is going to struggle to get in. They look awful, so I think they're not going to get in. And I think the Lakers might catch either. Golden State cannot win on the road.
It's so weird. They're the defending champions. It's not like their team is that different from last year. I know Wiggins has been out, but I mean Wiggins isn't that crucial, is he? I mean,
he was their second best player last year in the playoffs. He was the defensive matchup.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know what it is? I always looked at
Wiggins up and down.
He's very streaky. He's very streaky. I remember, listen, I remember how when he was coming out, he was supposed to be the next LeBron. So, to be where he's at now, it's just a super underwhelming. But he's a nice player. But he shouldn't dictate you missing the playoffs, though.
No.
Right?
Well, if you add into the fact that Jordan Poole has been okay, he signed a big ticket.
Yeah.
He's been up and down. His shooting numbers aren't great. Clay looks like he's kind of back to where he was before.
Yeah.
But Draymond can't shoot the ball.
He was always iffy from the field, though.
Yeah, we had that one year where he shot 35% from 3, and it was okay.
Yeah,
you got some MVP votes, lower down. But then, I mean, he's people just leave. It's like the Ben Simmons thing. They just, okay, go ahead, shoot, do whatever you need to do. We want you to shoot.
You know what, too, is with Poole, I feel like the only time he's really on fire if there's a hot chick at courtside, right? Every time how many memes or reels do you see of him? They show a hot chick at courtside and then he's shooting threes all over the court.
Yeah.
Or doing some crazy behind the back ball handling. But he's always on fire. If there's a celebrity or a hot chick in the courtside, he's having a big game.
Well, the best shot he took this year was from his own teammate in practice.
Yes, that was Draymond Green. Really, the funny thing is,
he popped him, man.
He popped him, and he was so unapologetic about it. It was it just went away, which tells you is that a little bit of something about Jordan Poole because maybe he's feeling himself a little bit, got that big contract, and all of a sudden he's feeling himself a little bit in practice. Yeah. And Draymond Green went up, punched him, and nothing really happened. It just got swept under the rug. I mean, Draymond Green is one of those leaders on that team. He's if anyone's gonna get away with it, it's gonna be Draymond Green.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how something that severe could happen in practice, and it's just not a big deal. You shouldn't have gotten away with his fist.
He had that weirdo interview. It was supposed to be an apology, but it wasn't an apology.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't even really apologize. Yeah. It was worse than the "I apologize if you're offended." It was worse than one of those apologies.
Yeah.
So, but Dom, where do you got your Clippers? You got them moving around a little bit? Do you have them still staying there?
It's tough. I think Wednesday's big. We play the Lakers on Wednesday. That's going to decide who's in the play and who isn't, I think. I think the Warriors will stay there. I think when you got someone like Steph, you're and I don't know what their run in is if they've got away games. As Matt said, they're terrible away from home this season. Yeah, I mean, I'd like the Clips not to have to do the play-in, but I think even if we do go to the play-in, we'll still get through that round. We'll still get into the playoffs, I think.
And how do you feel
Why is he too much of a beast? He's too clutch not to get at least to the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he misses so much time though. He should be the poster child for load management. He really should.
Yeah, well, he started.
He is.
Yeah, he started. On the Raptors. They did the load management thing because his knee was funky.
But he was even doing that, I believe, on when he was still with the Spurs too. Was he still doing it there?
No, he just missed that whole year.
Yeah,
and they were there was that whole thing with they got a second
doctors
and stuff, trust the team trainer, and then the team didn't know what was going on. He was doing his own thing with his uncle or wherever the hell that was, and but yeah, I mean, obviously his knees not great, but he's still I'm actually surprised. I thought he was toast, to be honest with you. And when he came back his first couple games, and then he's been fucking awesome.
He has. When he plays, he's about as good as he gets when he plays.
Yeah.
So, when he cares, he's he's top 5.
Yeah.
Got the best laugh in the NBA too. So
yeah.
Well, guys, we're gonna hit a short commercial break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about some NHL. So Patty, let's hit the commercial break.
Craving your favorite theme park treats right from the comfort of your home? Introducing MainStreetTreat.com. We bring your favorite treats right to your doorstep. Visit MainStreetTreat.com today and go ahead, treat yourself.
Happiness is addictive. Passionate about spreading laughter and creating smiles worldwide. Happiness is addictive brings our global community together through humor, optimism, cheer, hopefulness, and merriment. Happiness is addictive. Happiness is addictive.
Hey guys, you want to book a vacation, especially at Disney or Universal or a cruise line? Make sure you reach out to Neil Schuchart at Your Fairy Tale Vacation. He specializes in Disney World, Disneyland, Aulani, Universal Orlando, Universal Hollywood. And if you want to get on one of those cruise ships, he can get you up with any one of them: Disney Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, Holland America, Norwegian Cruise Line, Princess Cruise Line. Make sure you reach out to him on his cell phone, 713-817-5934, or his email, Neil, that's Neil, at yourfairytalevacation.com. And you can find him on Instagram at Disney Universal Travel Planner. All his stuff is right over there on the cue card right there. And again, one thing too, I gotta let you guys know, all his travel planning is 100% free. He doesn't charge a cent. He makes his money from where you're going, not from you. And he's got free quotes. So even if you just want an idea of what it's going to cost, and you're not even ready yet, you might be ready in 6 months, but you want to find out what it's going to cost, he'll get you at free quote. He doesn't charge a cent, and he'll probably even get it cheaper than you could get it elsewhere, because he's going to have all those discount codes that you might not be able to find, and at least save you that work of looking for them. So make sure you reach out to Neil from Your Fairy Tale Vacation. All right, guys? All right. So I hate doing reads because I feel like I'm going to butcher it, and I kind of do every time, but we don't have a commercial for him. We have to do a read. Maybe we'll make Matt do it next time. He's the trained actor.
I second that. Put him in.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's talk a little NHL.
You can see the excitement on Kat and Dom's face.
This is going to be. I know a little NHL. I mean, I'm okay. You're an NHL guy. You're an NHL guy. So you're going to basically take the lead on this one, man. Tell me. And let's pull up.
Respondent.
There we go. So let's put up the Eastern Conference. Start in the East first. I feel like the East. There's a no. That's basketball. Hockey's going on ice, Patty. There we go. All right. So here we go. So we got 7 spots tied up. Boston. I guess hockey players love cream pies too, I guess, Kat, because Boston is running away 125 points, man. But there's only one slot left with about 7 or 8 teams. Now, obviously, the Islanders have the best chance at that, right? They're in the top spot for that. But, Matt, what do you see as far as who's going to take that spot?
Well, I mean, I hope the Islanders don't get in just because they're so fucking boring to watch. God almighty.
They remind me of the Devils in the 90s.
God, they stink. They got Horvat to boost their scoring. He's really struggled.
Yeah.
And although I like him, I think he's a good player. But yeah, Pittsburgh has a game in hand on the Islanders, but Pittsburgh looks kind of washed. This looks like the end of the road for that whole Crosby, Malkin, Letang thing. Crosby's had a good year. Malkin, Letang, and Gensel have been pretty good. Raquel, those guys. But they need Jari, their goalie, to be healthy. And then the only other team in there, in the mix, is Florida, who their goaltending has been fucking awful.
Yeah.
Well, the goaltender makes $10 million. He stinks. But
Cat, wait, real quick. Cat, overpaid?
Pardon?
Goaltender.
Overpaid?
10 million a year,
Yes or no?
overpaid?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, good enough.
yeah.
No,
It's a
because
fair point. But Kachuk has been incredible for Florida. Holy cow! But
that's Keith Kachuk's son too, right? Am I right?
right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really there's one spot, and it kind of, I mean, hard to bet. I'd say Florida stays out, and the Islanders and Pittsburgh gets in.
That's if you were to put money on postseason, you take the Islanders.
I take the Islanders to make it. I take Pittsburgh to make it. I think Florida misses.
Who do you now? You obviously you're a Toronto fan, right? So who's your how do you? There you go.
Maple Leafs pajama pants.
I think you also had the mug before too. So
That's
you're
not
Maple
what I
Leafs.
thought I was going to see just now, but
Yeah.
it did not disappoint.
Well, how do you feel about your Maple Leafs going into the postseason? What do we see?
How do I feel? Let me tell you how I feel. Not good. Always. We play Tampa again in the first round. This has been set because in the division, Toronto, Boston, and the Islanders are so far ahead of everyone else in their division. And Boston's on pace for like the best season of all time almost.
Yeah, it's like the 12
They're
losses.
so far ahead.
Yeah.
And so it's like, cool. I guess we played Tampa, who's been to 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row. And we played them last year in the first round, lost in game 7. We've lost 8 straight deciding games.
Have you really?
That's not good, Jim.
No.
And so
Is it that? Wait, so that 8 years in a row you guys lost in the deciding game 7?
not 8 years in a row because a couple years they didn't make the
But-
playoffs. But
But you know what I mean. But all right,
8
let's
straight like game 7s or deciding games where they could win. And last year against Tampa, honestly, they played really good. And they outchanced. But Tampa has the best goalie in the world, and he was fucking awesome, and I fucking hate him. And he can go straight to hell. And we play Tampa again, so sick. Can't wait. God damn it.
I mean, so what's the week where? Why is it then? What is it that what are they missing that they just can't win those big games?
You know what?
Or is there someone there that need to get rid of? Somebody they need to move on from?
No, you know what? They've been good. Like, it's hard. Like, they played good, man, last year. And a lot of times what's happened in these game 7s, their goalie has been outplayed by the other goalie. And some of those years we had Freddie Anderson for 4 or 5 years. He was really good. But, when you're in game 7 and it's already kind of in their heads a little bit, because that's all anyone talks about, can you win a game 7? And then your goalie lets in kind of a bad goal. It immediately just like, okay, we're losing. Shit. But they just, a lot of those game 7s, they played good. They played well. And last year in game 6, they went to overtime. We were leading. We gave up the lead after one of our players, fucking Kerfoot, decided to drop the puck to nobody except the other team, give them breakaway, and they tied the game. And it was like, you could have just dumped it in the fucking zone and gone for a change. Fuck. And then
can I tell you something? I want to cut you off, but I got to say one thing.
bothered me.
Wait,
And
I
then
just want to say one thing.
we had like 6 incredible chances of all our best players, and their goalie made awesome saves, and then they won. Sick.
Dude, I gotta tell you, you remind when I talk about my Jets, I sound about as frustrated as you. Like your frustration, I was looking outside my body at myself as a Jet fan because that's how I am with the Jets, man. So I feel that
if I'm a better quarterback than Zach Wilson and I can't even play, that's not a good thing.
I think Cat's a better quarterback than Zach Wilson.
Exactly. I'm built for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but let's bring up the West now. Let's talk a little West. There we go. And he had the right sport this time. Great, Pat. So if you see, there's a bunch of teams, a bunch of spots still open, which is surprising to me that there's still so many spots open. And it looks like look, Colorado and Minnesota are and Dallas are ahead of everybody else. Pretty on a pretty.
They're going to get in.
They're pretty obvious, especially some of them have like 7 games left. Colorado has 7 games left. They can sleepwalk through and probably still make it.
Yeah.
Wait, pull it back up real quick, Patty. I didn't get to the bottom of it. So now you look down here at Nashville. Nashville also 7 games left. So where they're the bottom team in that grouping.
Yeah.
They do have an extra like 1 or 2 games than most of those teams.
Yeah.
If you look like above them, Calgary and Winnipeg each only have 5 games left. Nashville's got 7. So is that enough to make that 3-point difference?
Yeah, I mean, in the math it does, but I mean, you got to win. You got to win the games in hand. That's the thing. It's cool to have them, but like Nashville, I mean, they got a great goalie.
Yeah,
it's possible, but Calgary. I thought Calgary was going to be awesome this year, and they've been pretty brutal. And Huberdeau, this guy they brought over, he had 115 points, I think, last year. He's got 51 this year.
That's a big drop off.
They traded the Tkachuk for him. They signed a huge deal. He makes $10 million a year, I think.
Which is a lot for the NHL.
Yeah. Cat, overpaid or underpaid?
Definitely overpaid.
Yeah,
he's
overpaid.
There we go. That one's overpaid.
We can agree on that one.
Yeah. But I like they have Kadri and Lindholm and Backlund as their centers, and those are kind of good matchup centers. I like their team. The goalie's Markstrom's been really bad this year, but he's capable of being awesome. So if they get in, they could be a problem. But I think I want Seattle to get in because that's kind of fun. I've been there a couple times. That new stadium is awesome.
Kadri he used to play for Anaheim, right? Am I thinking the right guy?
Who's that?
Kadri. Did he play for Anaheim last year?
For the Maple Leafs.
Was it the Maple Leafs? I thought it was Anaheim.
And he played for Colorado.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of, Colorado.
Yeah,
Right,
he won a cup in Colorado.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Last year. And then he got paid. Yeah, I think I would like Seattle to keep it in, but I think and the Jets have been struggling, but their goalie's awesome, so I think they'll probably get in. I think Calgary's and Nashville are out. I think it's going to stay how it is.
Oh, okay. Now, who would you say is the best guy in the league right now? Are you going to say Austin Matthews?
No, definitely not.
Right.
I mean, I want. He won the Hart Trophy last year, so it's funny. I got in this debate years and years ago with my brother. We were talking about Matthews versus McDavid, and at the time, their stats were kind of similar. Matthews is a better defensive player, and I was like, there's an argument to be made that. And my brother Danny was like, no. I'm like, I don't know. And then McDavid went mental the rest of the year, and he's been mental ever since. So now it's not even close. It's McDavid and then the rest of the league.
He's pretty much
he's insane.
That. He's like how they had it was Gretzky, then it was Lemieux, and then he's in that echelon, I think.
Yeah, Gretzky, Lemieux, Crosby, McDavid.
Yeah. So Dom, how do the British feel about hockey?
Yeah.
We normally play it on a field, not on ice.
Do they even have an Olympic team?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Nobody knows.
No,
nobody knows.
Even the Brit doesn't know.
We had a baseball team at the WBC.
Most of those guys are probably American and stuff like
those
that.
jerseys, those jerseys were incredible.
They were
Someone's
amazing.
we'll put the name on, whatever.
I gotta tell you,
stoked that Trace Thompson was on the team, but
Dodger, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I can't stand the WBC though. To me, it's have a look at the Mets lost their closer to a really tough injury. I mean, I'm not a Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan, so I it doesn't really affect me. But it's a shame to see a young player like that have such a serious injury for games that really. I mean, I guess to them it matters, but you know what? To Met fans out there, you don't really care if we win the WB, the World Baseball Classic. You want to win the World Series. So, and the Met fans who haven't won anything since '86, I could see where a Met fan would be like, I hate the World Baseball Classic.
I did hear a really good take on it from one of the announcers, though, is that they would be playing spring anyway.
Yeah.
It would inevitably be coming out in spring training if it was going to happen. Maybe you obviously don't pitch so many innings. It's a little bit more competitive. But
I think
if you're going to be doing spring training anyway.
I think they're on a pitch count in the WBC.
Oh, do they? Okay, so maybe I didn't know that then because my thing is this when you get especially in that beginning of spring training. They pitch like an inning, if that. So you know what I'm saying, especially with pitchers. And the position players, they maybe play an inning or two, especially early in preseason or early in spring training. So I feel like they still do play more in the World Baseball Classic.
Pitching, I can see. Pitching, I can see you should put a limit on it, and maybe they shouldn't be doing. And I think the Dodgers pulled Urias, right? He wasn't allowed to play in the semis.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what.
I think they pulled him because they were like, "You're pitching too much." No. We need you for opening day.
Listen,
Vladdy, same thing with the Jays. The Vladdy tweaked his knee a little bit, and if it was like regular season or playoffs, he could probably play through it. But they shut him down because you don't want to lose him for the year because you're playing through an injury for the World Baseball Classic.
So, as a Jays fan, if that's a torn ACL or something like that, how do you are you living?
I completely changed my tune. I'd hate the World.
So that's what I'm saying.
In a heartbeat, yeah.
You're the team that scares me the most in these. I know we were talking hockey. We kind of switched over to baseball, But because I feel like Kat knows baseball more than hockey, so that's why.
No, actually, I know hockey way better because the two places where I have houses were the best two teams in the league. So.
Oh, all right. So let's go back. All right. So, Kat, give us your take on your two teams.
Yeah.
I like to party in Vegas, and I have had some champagne out of the Stanley Cup twice.
Oh,
Really?
shit.
It's kind of dirty. And, it's
Yeah.
filthy. It's like having, communion with everybody in the church who takes a sip out of the same old thing. But hey, I did it.
You're gonna want a shot of penicillin after that drink of champagne.
But I mean, hanging out with those guys, you need a lot of shots of other things anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. So, what two teams did you celebrate with?
The Kings and the Golden Knights.
There you go.
Well, hold on. The Golden Knights never won a
Wait,
Stanley Cup.
they went to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
They stole the cup and they partied with it in Vegas.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
It might have been one of those things. Doesn't it? They do the tour for the cup, right? Doesn't the cup kind of go to a bunch of different cities anyway?
Yep.
Well, a player on the other team gets to take it wherever he wants.
Yeah, so that's what you probably partied with the other team when they beat the Vegas. So you were partying with the enemy. That means.
Listen.
Hey, if the enemy's got champagne, are they really?
I gotta go where I gotta go. They got the good stuff.
That's a great point.
Thanks for calling me out, but.
So all right. So back to hockey real quick, and we'll close out. We're gonna get to the next topic in a minute. We're gonna talk a little Disney stuff in a minute. But guys, right, Boston, they're winning the cup this year, right? Is there anyone that can beat them? They've lost 12 times.
Yeah. Here's the thing with hockey. Like the best team sometimes doesn't matter.
It's a hot goalie.
Fucking hot goalie.
I don't mean hot goalie. How Cat means hot goalie.
Yeah.
I mean like
good looking. All
no,
that.
That's what matters.
Not
That's
that guy.
difference.
We mean
That's
the guy
what wins games. Teeth.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean the Boston's goalie this year has been incredible. Linus Ullmark. He's been so good. Same with the backup Swayman. But come playoff time, he has a couple bad games in a row. And the East is so stacked. They're top, like the top 6 teams in the East are I think the top 6 teams in the league. And they're so good that that's the one thing, the parity in the NHL, that's why the number 1 seed, rarely wins the Stanley Cup. Whoever the best team in the league is, it rarely happens. But they're very, very good. They're very deep. They're terrifying to play. And I hate them. So I hope they don't win.
All right, so let's segue now. All right, so Boston. We don't want Boston to win. Listen, I'm a New Yorker, so I have no love for any Boston team. They've ruined a lot of my team's seasons. They've wrecked a lot of my seasons. So I'm not rooting for Boston, although I can't see anybody taking them out. I know it's about the hot goalie, but
that's fair.
They're good everywhere. But let's get into the next thing. Let's talk a little Disney. The Rock had a major Disney announcement. Moana, the live-action remake, is coming, and he's actually going to be playing the character he voiced in Moana. Did you guys get to see Moana, the original?
Yeah, I did. My niece has made me watch. I've seen it fucking 4 times.
It's a good one.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty good.
It's great. It is great.
Now we got The Rock is obviously going to be playing Maui. I'm assuming that's where he's going to be playing his original role. I believe. And I butcher her name all the time. I feel so bad. It's so hard to say. Is Ollie Crivalo? Am I saying it right?
Nobody knows.
But you know who I'm talking about. The one she did the voice
of Moana.
Yeah, she did the voice of Moana.
And now she's coming back as an executive producer. And I think she's actually going to play the role, right? Is that been confirmed too? I know she's executive producer. I don't think it's been confirmed. I think they're trying to figure out if she's too old or not.
She's only 22.
Right, but Moana was younger.
I know, but how Hollywood is. Everyone always plays younger in Hollywood.
That's true.
I think she's perfect. Obviously, she has the voice. She looks like the character too. How many Disney princesses look like the person who played their voice? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think any. No.
She literally, it almost looks like they drew her based on her real life appearance. So she fits the bill. And also
characteristics, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So and then also I would love to see them bring in. You never know with these remakes. Sometimes they take out some of the animal characters and they don't keep them in the live action. But Jermaine Clement as the giant crab, he's got right. If they have the giant crab, they got to keep him in there. No,
Tamateo, yeah.
But Sometimes what they'll do is they'll take a character that's an animal character and they'll change it to like a person or something like that. I don't want them to do that. You got CGI, you have all these things available to you. Make sure that there's a giant crab in this movie, right?
Do it for Gene. Put the crab in.
But please do it for me. And the funny thing is I actually, to me, that's the worst. It's one of the worst Disney songs of all time. Is that one there? I'm not a fan of that song.
Gene.
No.
I
love Jermaine Clement. I'm just not that song. Just
that
doesn't
song
do it
is
for me.
great. It's a Bowie pastiche. What are you talking about? You're wrong. Let's move on.
Well, I mean, it's an opinion. I guess I could still be wrong. So, all right, you would rank it as one of your favorite Disney songs?
No, but I mean, not my favorite Disney songs, but it's
Top
a
five?
really good. It's a really good song.
I think maybe I dislike it because so many people like it. Maybe I'm just such a
Okay.
Contrarian.
Yeah, like I was such a contrarian. I think that's the reason why I don't like it is because everybody like raves about it. Because that's usually Dom's response is 95% of the time the response I get when I say I don't like that song. Yeah. Everyone's like I'm crazy. It just doesn't do it for me, man. And I love Jermaine Clement. I think he's fantastic. I think he's super funny. I think the character is great. I want that character in there, but I would love them to come up with a different song for him.
No, you can't do
give
that.
me a good song. Don't give me shiny. Give me something good.
I mean, I'll write a song, but I won't be.
Dom, can we get you on that? Can we get you in touch with The Rock and get this thing going?
Oh, I think Lin-Manuel would have something to say about that.
Well, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Right.
I don't like Disney. Why are you doing it though?
Too soon?
Oh my god! I mean, I have two small children, I have a 7-year-old as my oldest, and it came out when he was 1. It's like. Or as he was
You've
born.
already heard it all 1,000 times.
Oh my god, that is like that movie is. We watched it again like last week. I don't need a live action version of this. I especially don't want to see The Rock in a wig. We had enough of that with Scorpion King franchise. We don't need it again.
I just pictured him with like the Troy Polamalu hair.
Yeah.
I just can't see it.
I can't.
Like
it's gonna be
well, I mean, this is happening because Black Adam tanked, right? And
so,
that thing's all scrapped. So The Rock has probably moved on to what we do next.
He's got a good relationship with Disney. He's done a bunch of other things with them. He produced that docu-series about all the rides in Disney World and Disneyland. So he's done some stuff with them. Yeah, they did the Jungle Cruise. So he's got a relationship there. I know he's going to be part of the production team on it. $7 Production is going to be part of it. You know how he came up with that name for his production company?
No.
Yeah, that's how much money he had in his wallet.
That's how much money he had in his wallet one time when he was really broke early on in his career, and he looked in his wallet and he had $7, and that's $7. Is how he came up with the name of it.
I hung out with The Rock one night.
Did you really?
He was shooting Walking Tall in Vancouver. This was like 20 years ago, almost.
Wow.
Or maybe almost. And he was staying at the Sutton Place, which is like a hotel all the stars stay when they're in town. My buddy was working there, and he kind of became friends with him, friendly while they're shooting. And The Rock was like, "Hey, when do you bring some friends out? Let's go out this weekend." And so my buddy called me. He's like, "Hey, you want to go with The Rock?" I was like, "Yeah." And so we went to this club, which is now like a restaurant, but and we had our own private. So I walked in. We walked in with The Rock, and Vin Diesel's body double stunt double was there because they were shooting Chronicles of Riddick at the same time here, and we walked in, and then I just always remember we got to the club was packed, and we had our own. There's this own section cordoned off with this big bouncer, and they walked through and they stopped me like, hey, and then The Rock turned back. He's like, no, he's good. And I was like, cool. I mean, I talked to him for probably 5 seconds in there, introduced, hey, how you doing? Good. He said, call me Dwayne. And then he just
did you call him The Rock? Did you say, hey, how you doing, The Rock?
No, I didn't say anything. I just said, hey, how you going? My name's Matt. And then how you going? I hope I didn't say that. And then he was busy the whole night talking to more important people while we were hanging out. Like, oh my God, hanging out The Rock. It was 20. I was 22 or 21 or something.
That's crazy, man. That's.
And then at the end we left and he got in a limo. I'm like, hey, I went up to him like, hey man, thanks so much. Like, yeah, no problem, anytime. See you soon. Never seen him since. He's my best friend, basically. But I haven't seen him in 20 years. But we're best friends.
There you go. Now, so the news came out about this? What was yesterday? But a couple days prior to that, they talked about doing a remake of Aristocats. We're good with that one. That's long enough, right? 1970. We're 50 years past that.
Sure. Yeah. None of us remember that one. It's fine. Bring it back.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the whole Questlove addition to that?
Love that.
You like Questlove is the director on it.
Oh,
I think the studio are going to get involved beyond belief. So He'll
Well, I
shoot
mean, I
it.
think you just gotta like they're all gonna happen because The Lion King and Jungle Book made so much money, and the Lion King was kind of a letdown. It was just like watching the same movie, but just
It was almost shot. It was almost shot for shot.
yeah.
That's Beauty and the
like-
Beast too. It's just the same.
Yeah.
Let's do exactly shot for shot live action of a beloved Disney movie.
I think people like to see it because they like to see their favorite actors portraying their favorite characters. I think that's really what it is. I think people want to see, hey, I want to see Luke Evans play Gaston. I want to see Emma Watson play Belle. I think
Right.
there's
really people that wanted that. People wanted
think
Emma
so.
Watson as Belle.
Well, I didn't. Listen, she wouldn't have been my
Let's
pick.
get
Belle. I
someone
think
who
she's-
can't
my
sing
choice, but
to
she
be in a
didn't.
musical.
I mean, Kat, what do you say? Like, are you looking for which one? Well, actually, let me start here. What are you looking forward to most? Aristocats or Moana or neither?
I mean, neither.
Really?
I think maybe they should put the girl from the Pussycat Dolls, Nicole Scherzinger, put her in there so that there's someone else hot that us shallow people can enjoy.
And which one though? In Moana or Aristocats?
I want
Or
her.
both.
Come back.
She could be Marie in the Aristocats. That's
Yeah.
the thing too, is there's not many humans. There's not really it's cats and like the bad guys are
I'm
humans.
picturing Cats the musical on Broadway, and it's just like giving me
It's not
the. I'm not that
Yeah,
into it. I
That
can't
went
see
well.
how it's gonna
That
work
movie went well.
unless someone wants to cast me as a cat. I'll put on the outfit, crawl around, do whatever you want to do. I'm in there.
you're down to be in the movie. You just don't care to see it.
Yeah, but watching it without me in it, I don't know if I'm down.
I get that. I can see that. That's
Like
it's very self-centered.
Years, I'm so into it, but
But so all right, Moana, too soon. Like now, is it something that should never have happened, or you just think 15 years, 20 years from now that would have been fine? Is that what it really is?
I mean, yeah, I would have given it a few more years, but I think it'll be good. I think give Mr. Johnson a chance to finally really embrace all of his Hawaiian culture, because he's been trying to plug that into all of his other movies, and it doesn't really work for me. Like, he always tries to do that haka dance, like in Fast and the Furious. I think it was 8. He was coaching like little girls, and he taught them how to do the scary dance, and they're making faces and they're going, and he looks crazy. And then he did it in Hobbs and Shaw, and he tried to do a scary war dance, and he's like, doing all this crazy stuff. Well, I don't know, man. It doesn't fit for me. So maybe get it all out of your system, put it in this one, and then maybe I'll buy it.
Well, and he said that too. He said that this is a chance for him to talk about his heritage, his culture in this film, and be part of something that
Right. And he said
that's
that
his
he
family.
modeled his character after his grandfather.
Yeah.
And it's like
good for
an
him.
homage, and he's honoring him. Okay, good. Get it out. And then when you get back to your regular steez and you're back to your action heroism, let's not put any of that anymore in there. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Dom, you're the music guy. What do you think music-wise? Do they stay with the same songs, or should they kind of maybe change up the soundtrack a little bit? Like, do you like it when they add new songs to movies like this? Like, you always see there's always one or two. Do you like it when they do that?
No, because I don't like the concept in the first place.
Yeah.
To remake these things, it's just, why are we doing it? It doesn't make any sense. You've got these beloved. Please, can we just make original films with new stuff that we haven't seen? Why are we remaking everything and sequels for everything? It drives me fucking crazy.
Especially right now, I feel like every movie in the theaters right now is pretty much either a sequel or a reboot or a remake or something.
It's either a video game first, or it's okay, any Dungeons and Dragons, whatever. But these Disney remakes are because it's only based on cash. It's not based from a creative standpoint. It's not based on, let's do something cool and new and completely change it up, completely have different songs, a different take on it. It's the same fucking thing, but it's live action instead of watching drawings and animation. It drives me crazy. Sorry, I'm not passionate about this at all.
I get it. Well, what about, so are you looking forward to seeing let's switch gears a little bit. Super Mario Brothers is coming out. I think it comes out tomorrow, actually, which is weird for a Wednesday, but are we excited to see that? Another Chris Pratt vehicle. I think Jack Black's on it as well.
I love Jack Black. I'll watch anything Jack Black's in, so I'll watch it. And also, I have 2 kids, so of course I'm going to watch it. I was controversial. I was never that big on Mario, only because video games in general, my mum didn't let me have a console ever. It was
Mhm.
like practice your
Same.
cello or go outside and play sports. Other than that, you're not going to be there like this on video games.
That's
So
how it should
I don't
be.
have
That's how
as
it
much
should be today.
sympathy with it. What's that? Sorry.
That's how it should be today. There's too many kids on the video games today, man.
Well,
You
yeah, I
know?
mean, it does help hand-eye coordination to some degree, but I agree with you on that. I don't think there should be this much video games going on with young kids. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Mario Brothers will be fun. Yeah, I can take a small amount of Charlie Day. Hopefully, he's doing a convincing Luigi to not annoy me too much.
I like Charlie Day. I think he's
I like him. It's just for like 2 hours. I can't. It's too much.
Yeah, I get that. I can see that. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I could see it being even if it's horrible. I still see it making a ton of money, even if it's bad.
Oh, it will.
For sure,
Because-
make a ton of money.
Yeah.
I'll
You're gonna-
go watch it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna have people our age going to see it. You're gonna have the kids that want to go see it, and then the parents that might not have been into video games are gonna go see it because the kids want to see it. I gotta figure it's gonna beat out Dungeons and Dragons. I think Dungeons and Dragons beat 38 million last weekend. I gotta imagine it's gonna in the
it
weekend. It's
will.
gonna be.
Here's why it's going to beat out Dungeons and Dragons. Those people don't have a date. They're selling only single tickets.
But you know, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Remember, Dungeons and Dragons got really popular thanks to Stranger Things. Like, it became popular. You had like a resurgence because of Stranger Things.
Yeah, right.
Because what is Stranger Things is basically like about everything they deal with is kind of like relates to Dungeons and Dragons. So they kind of got that popularity back. And I get it. Like, I never was into Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. That was something I was into. I'd rather go out and play ball. So I didn't get into the whole Dungeons and Dragons things either. But I could see why it's becoming super popular now. I don't know if I see Chris Pine carrying a franchise going forward with it. To me, he's not. He's a good actor, but is he a franchise like leader? I don't know.
Maybe a cartoon. I mean,
the guy from Bridgerton, I could see being that next big movie star kind of guy. Reggae John Page, I could see him being another guy that goes that
Based
does
on his face.
Well, you know, I don't know. Kat, how do you feel about that guy from Bridgerton?
hot.
Hot. There you go.
But I mean, you know, Chris is not bad. He's a
good actor. I like Chris Pine.
He's a good actor. Maybe not as steamy.
Maybe when he's not getting spit on by that boy band guy. You know, there's that whole.
How do we feel about Chris Pratt? I'm a bit Chris Pratt. I don't know how I feel about him.
I like Chris Pratt sometimes, and that's
No, as far as Chris Pratt, I'm still emotionally wounded that he left the House Bunny.
He was supposed to be in the House Bunny?
Ferris. No, they were married.
Oh, that's right. Anna Ferris. That's right. I was like, he was.
I'm sad on her behalf, but
I think
she's moved on too. I think, right?
She does a good job.
She moved on though already, hasn't she? Is she?
Yes.
So
probably.
She's okay for it, you know. That's the thing is, I think we had a little bit too much. Chris Pratt was in everything for like 3 or 4 years straight. He was in like 10 movies. It's like, dude, take a break, just relax and hang out with your kids for a minute. Like,
that lost Jurassic World.
Come back bigger and better, and maybe I'll embrace.
Well, he's just the same thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like his Jurassic World character and Star-Lord character, there's not much difference.
Yeah.
Like, Hero kind of doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's kind of quippy and funny, and you know, at first it was fun. The first Jurassic World movie was a lot of fun, and the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was awesome.
Yeah.
But since then, the second Guardian of the Galaxy movie was all right. But I don't know, man. The Jurassic World movies, the last two have been terrible.
So bad.
And I mean, I'm still gonna watch whatever comes out for Jurassic Park stuff, just because the first one's so good that's gonna carry me through no matter what.
And you want to finish the series, right? Like, you kind of gotta just finish the series.
But like everyone's just like, buddy, yesterday I was watching the championship game. He's like, oh, I watched the new Jurassic World movie last night. I'm like, oh yeah, what'd you think? He's like, I lasted 40 minutes, turned it off. I'm like,
he got the gist of it. He got the idea.
Yeah.
You know,
there's dinosaurs. They're dangerous. They escape. Weird.
It happens every single time. It just happens every single episode.
But this time I'm going to control them. It'll be
It's
better.
actually really great watching them when you watch them with a 6-7-year-old. My oldest, more 6 because he's not really obsessed with dinosaurs anymore. But when he was more worried for the dinosaurs than he was the humans. It was a really great spin on it.
Yeah,
I like his style.
Yeah. And we do have to take a break. I know we should have Brandon Jay McLaren in any minute. So we'll take a short commercial break. Hopefully he'll be able to the commercial break. He might be running a little bit late. But when we come back, we'll either be talking to Brandon Jay McLaren, or we will get into the NCAA Championship game from last night. So let's hit that break.
Craving your favorite theme park treats right from the comfort of your home? Introducing MainStreetTreat.com. We bring your favorite treats right to your doorstep. Visit MainStreetTreat.com today and go ahead, treat yourself.
Happiness is addictive. Passionate about spreading laughter and creating smiles worldwide. Happiness is addictive. Brings our global community together through humor, optimism, cheer, hopefulness, and merriment. Happiness is addictive. Happiness is addictive.
All right, guys, we're back. You know what? So he's running a little bit late, it seems. So let's talk about the NCAA tournament from last night. Did you guys catch the game last night?
Yeah.
Was anybody impressed with this game? Honestly,
No.
Boring game, right? I think we all knew that was what was going to happen. The Huskies steamrolled everybody. The only interesting part really was the fact that there was no number one seeds in it. It was a 4 and a 5. That was pretty fun, I guess. But UConn showed you that how much better of a team they were than that 5 seed San Diego. I think the spread was 7.5, and they won by, what was it, like 16 points, something like that?
Yeah.
17 points. So it just shows you the Big East, where it's not what it used to be. It's not the SEC of football, like, let's say, but that Big East is still it's a nasty division. They had one of the top teams in the league. Marquette was there already, and they lost early. But I tell you what, even if you look at the stat line, you can even see it was a dull game. Like only 10 points off the bench for San Diego State. UConn only had 16 points off the bench. To me, it was just one of those. It was just a whole hum game. Matt, what do you say?
Yeah, there was a couple moments where it got a little spicy. Like it started off kind of, okay, this could be a close game, and then San Diego State didn't score for like 6 minutes, and then coming out of the second half, they made a bit of a run to cut the lead to 6. And then that just kind of went away. I mean, it was exciting for me because both my parlays hit. And that kind of went down to the end where I had an adjusted over and an adjusted line for oh my God, the team that won. Jesus Christ.
UConn.
God damn. Anyways, so like I went down, like I had Jordan Hawkins over 14.5 points. He hit 2 free throws late to get me that win, and the other one was we got the over just in the last kind of 2 minutes of the game. So I was excited. I was like, "Come on, give it to Hawkins, shoot!" So I was doing that whole thing. So I won money. So I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, you got to have money on the game for it to be at all entertaining, right? Because the game itself, like, let's just take a look at the stats too. I mean, you had the highest scoring total in the game was 19 points. By Tristan Newton. So you had Adamas Sinago and Tristan Newton both had double doubles, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 19 points, 10 rebounds respectively. Same thing on the other side, man. Like there was no one that stood out as like, this is a star. I can't wait to see this guy in the NBA. There's some guys that you'll see I think will be in the NBA, but usually in those final games you see that guy that okay, this is a lottery pick. We're gonna see this kid do something really great next year in the NBA. This didn't have that. This didn't have anybody nobody took the game over, I thought.
No, and I mean, San Diego State probably won't have anybody enter the draft or get drafted.
Probably not. I think Butler's going to get looked at more than he did because of that big shot he hit in the Final Four game, in the semis. I think he's going to get some. I think people are going to look at him. I think he might make a squad, but yeah, they're not going to ever be. I don't think anyone's going to get drafted high or even in the first round from San Diego State. Maybe you might see a second rounder.
There was, and I don't think anyone on UConn's going to go in the lottery, anyways, right? Probably not.
Probably not. And that's a credit too. You know what? Let's credit Bobby Hurley because he coached a gorgeous March Madness. I mean, the whole tournament, like they crushed everybody they saw in the whole tournament. And I think Danny Hurley, I think he's one of these college lifers. He's not even a guy that's ever going to entertain the pros. I think you're going to see him in college his whole career. I don't think he's even going to even think about. I would love to say UConn for like the next 30 years, 40 years. I mean, he's not old. He's what? How old is he? Like maybe 50. So maybe he's got like 20 years of coaching. If that. So he's got like 20 years of coaching at least. I would love to see him spend the whole time at UConn and just really build up this just a great franchise. Not franchise. I'm sorry. Program. But yeah, he's definitely one of these. I think a college lifer. He just looks like a college head coach, doesn't he? Like he just looks like the type of guy that he's not a pro guy. He's a college guy. He's got the bags under his eyes. He looks beat up a little bit. College coaches work a heck of a lot more than your pro coaches, I think. But what did it for you, Don? What was? Give me something either you loved about it or it lacked for you.
I mean, I struggle with college basketball anyway. I always tune into March Madness because the games are always down to the wire,
and they always matter.
There's like, what was there, like maybe a handful of those. The semifinal, obviously, with San Diego was really exciting, but I feel like Florida would have done a better job in the final. I think it would have been more interesting. There was just something about San Diego that was just a bit dull. But as for last night, I was rooting for it to just get closer. But every time it would dry up and they wouldn't get back. I think got to like 6 points at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sat through it because I knew we were talking about it today.
That's what it was for me too. I was like, because to be honest with you, I would have watched it either way. But once I got to halftime, I'm like, do I really? I mean, I feel like I've learned everything I need to learn. What can happen in the second half that I need to see? Kat, did you catch the game at all last night?
Negative.
It wasn't for you?
Not for me.
They're overpaid.
Definitely
overpaid.
All the free merch is too much.
the free meals. Listen, I think it was good having some Cinderella teams playing in the Final Four. Obviously, no 1 seeds in the Final Four. I don't think there was even any 2 seeds in the Final Four. So that's obviously makes it exciting. But I think you lose that star power because you have a 1 or 2 seeded team. You're gonna have some guys that are future lottery picks that you're gonna see next year on some teams, and we didn't have that in this game. And I think that's what also lacked this game. Not only was the scoring it was too much of a blowout. But there was nobody that you looked at and said, "I want to see this player. I want to see this player like take over a game." There was nobody like that in this game.
No,
which is why we're talking about it towards the end of the show. And we didn't lead off with it because it was a boring game.
Yeah, not great.
So
I feel like college ball's kind of evolved as the NBA game has evolved, but they're kind of not good enough yet. So they're throwing up a lot of threes, and the great thing I used to watch about college was like a lot of in the post and like a lot of scrappiness down low. And I didn't see that much of it this tournament. There's a lot of threes being thrown up, but maybe I just caught those particular games. I don't know what you guys think.
I think that's what the NBA game is right now. There's a lot of 3-pointers, and so I feel like they're just trying to do what's going on in the league now to show that they can carry a team to the league. Unfortunately, it's just they got to be able to hit those shots, and I feel like it takes away so much from the game. I'd rather see some passing. I'd rather see some driving and some dishing and stuff down the lane. I don't feel. And the other thing too is I thought we'd see more. I thought it would be a more physical game yesterday. I really did expect a more physical game yesterday. I didn't expect it to not be as physical. I don't think the refs did a bad job. Like Matt, what did you think about the refs? They weren't really. They didn't take over the game.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fine. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about reffing in basketball these days, but I mean, I think it also helps when the game's not really close for the most part. That the reffing just kind of, I honestly didn't even think about it, which is probably a good thing. If you're not thinking about the reffing, it's probably a good thing.
Well, and it's because the night before, I felt like they took over that game. There was a whistle like every 3 seconds in the women's game, which that game, again, not also a close game, but at least it was exciting to watch. That one at least had some excitement to it. So somebody scored over 20 points. Did you guys catch the women's one too? Or no.
I watched some of it. Yeah, I did not. Although I did like the whole Caitlin Clark run was awesome to watch. That was so
most points in a single tournament season. Then I think Glenn Rice had the original record, and she beat out Glenn Rice.
Yeah, she's a baller. She's a baller. She can shoot.
Is she your first round pick in the WNBA draft?
Well, I think is she eligible? Doesn't she have to go back for another year?
I thought she was eligible. She might not be.
If she's eligible, she must be the first pick, right?
Right. I mean, she averaged I think like 40-something points in the tournament this year. Like she was unstoppable.
That's crazy.
I'll tell you what's crazy though is everybody made a big deal over Angel Reese doing the thing, but she only did it because that was Caitlin Clark's thing the whole series, the whole tournament. She was doing it. So
I think the thing that the thing about it was that she followed her around for like 20 seconds doing it.
There was that. There was a like, hey, if you didn't see me, I'm here. Like there was that. They made pretty much.
They made a big deal about it. Like on Twitter, it's like, listen, is that unsportsmanlike? Yeah, but who fucking cares?
And here's the thing. And Dom,
he's 20 years old.
That's what I'm saying. And here's the other thing too, Dom. If it happened in the men's championship game, are we even talking about it?
No.
Does anybody even mention it, or is it because?
No,
I think it would. I think if
think so?
Travis Kelce went up to Jalen Hurts and started chirping him and doing the ring thing as the game's ending, guaranteed.
Come on, I liked it. I actually heard all about it, followed all of that part.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying
fun for me.
People would, like when Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons walked off after Jordan beat them and didn't shake hands and did that whole thing.
Yeah,
that became a huge thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's an unsportsmanlike move.
And that was more of like a cold shoulder. That wasn't as blatant as this. You might be right, but it was also a long time ago.
Super uncouth or rude in the etiquette of sports, but also there's not a rule that says you have to be a good sport.
No,
you don't have to.
And again, I'll be honest, I didn't mind Angel Reese doing it. I personally liked it. I thought I had no problem with it. But my only problem was the coverage. I feel like unless you knew that Caitlin Clark already did it, that first night, all you heard about was Angel Reese doing it. It seemed like if you didn't know any different, you thought that Angel Reese just did it out of the blue. You didn't even know that because you didn't know there was a message behind it. And I feel like that's
villainized her for it.
They villainized that. Well, and I also want to say too, like because you even heard of the postgame show how there was a lot of stuff that a lot of people had stuff to say about her all year that they called her hood and this and that, and it was. We forget these college students; they're still kids, man. Like it's really unfair to do that. Like I got kids that my daughter's her age. My daughter's 23, so like I can understand how that's got. They're still growing. They once they're making millions, then they all right. Take what the crowd says. You got to deal with it. That's part of why you're making that money. You're in the public eye. But these kids are in college, man. Like they're playing for a chance at a career. Yeah. They don't deserve that, especially like I said, all year round. Her dealing with it, which is where you can understand someone being a little bitter at the end, exhaling and maybe going a little too far. I get it to an extent. And you know the funny thing, did you guys even hear this? That so she won the championship for the women's championship on Sunday. Yesterday, her cousin was not Tristan Newton, Jordan Hawkins from UConn.
Oh,
so the two cousins won back to back on the same day.
He won me my parlay yesterday. Thank you, Jordan Hawkins. Thank you, Angel Reese's cousin.
Angel Reese's cousin. Yeah. So it's. I thought we got the blue check. We're gonna get that into a second. I'm curious because I know some of us have blue checks, some of us don't. So I'm kind of curious what we're going to say about that. But Joey, let's segue into it. Let's talk about the little blue checks. I know a lot of those celebrities had something to say about it. Matt, you have a blue check, and you pay. All right, so Dionne Warwick says she's got a lot of extra hot lattes to get instead of paying for her.
Yeah.
$8,000. I
actually don't have one on Twitter. I have one on Instagram.
You have one on Instagram. That's right.
I didn't get approved the last time, or when I applied for Twitter. I was like, what? How did I not get approved?
You were on a TV show.
Yeah.
And you've been you've been in movies. Like I don't get how you didn't get that.
Yeah.
I didn't have one either.
I don't know. I didn't get it, and then Twitter Blue came around, and I'm like, I'm not paying for it.
I
Now-
don't mind paying for it because they pay me to make content anyway. So it's like a wash. It's like
I can see that.
I'm not really paying for it.
If it makes it easy for people to follow you to do it.
Back.
But it just doesn't really mean anything now.
Right.
If anyone can
It used to
pay
be a
for it.
status thing. It used to be where you.
Either way, but
Yeah,
yeah.
what's the point? Yeah.
Freaking out.
I'm good with that on Twitter because I use Twitter. I don't tweet that much. I use it to like follow. I have my lists of like hockey, baseball, NFL, like to follow news and injuries and trades and shit like that. But I actually don't use it that much to tweet. So I could
Ever
really
since Donald Trump got kicked off of Twitter, it's been lackluster for me.
It's been
I
a
don't
little
have
boring.
anything to look at every day. It's not as nearly as much fun.
He got back on though, didn't he? Didn't he get
No,
reinstated?
he
He's
stayed
got
on.
his own thing now, his own, but that's not the same.
Oh, whatever the hell that
He
is.
created his own platform.
Yeah.
That's not the same. I like the tweets from the president, sounded all nuts. That really did it for me.
Well, he might have some time in prison, so maybe he'll jump back onto
Yeah,
Twitter.
he's in my neck of the woods today. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The topic that gets put in there tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, it's like I get why some people would want it, right? Because you want to everyone knows that that's you. It's not somebody else. That no one's a person. I get why, but they still they were giving him out before. They still could like that's his sales pitch. That's Elon Musk's sales pitch. Oh well, now they can know it's you and it's not anybody else. But still, you gotta go through the process of verifying these people to give them the blue check, regardless if they have the $8 a month or not. So why do you have to still charge $8? I don't get it. Like you still gonna verify them.
Yeah.
You were verifying them before. You weren't just giving the blue check. But if I remember correctly, wasn't there like a congressman or something that somebody ended up getting a blue check and they weren't really the congressman? Was there an account that?
That happened. That happened a lot when Elon first did this thing.
When he first took over, like
people pretended to be people and put like it was an absolute clusterfuck. That was when everyone was like, we're out of Twitter, and no one left. Everyone talked.
Everyone. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I know who had a funny tweet. I think it was Patty. I think we have some other tweets. Well, he was Jason Alexander. His wasn't that really funny. He was just more like stating a fact. I believe this is the one, right? It was Chrissy Teigen. Like it's the end of the world. Like, I thought that was a great one.
Yeah.
But Dominic, what do you feel about this, Dom?
It's like Matt said. It doesn't mean anything anymore if you pay for it. So, if it matters to you, go for it. But I applied, I think, twice or 3 times and got turned down.
See, I don't get that either. Like, I have no shot at ever getting it. If you guys are getting turned down for it, I have zero chance at ever getting one.
Right. They say persistence. Like, it takes 6 months of constant trying.
Oh, it does? Okay.
That's what they say. I don't know. I've never given it 6 months. I don't have the time or energy for that.
I just went through a phase of, like, trying to get more present on social media. And after just like hiring people and that trying to pursue that as PR instead of a PR firm, it's so exhausting.
But
and you hire someone to like
this should do
your thing for you. And what's that, Kat?
I said you're on the pop-off show now. This should do it for you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. I needed this last year. But I mean, I was trying to create content and hired someone to do it, and they would like do my posts and stuff, and you just end up going in and like. I don't sound like that and redoing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I applied for the tick, whatever you call it. But I won't do it now. I'm not going to pay for it. What's the point?
And you see that they're charging on Instagram now too. Like
I saw that last night. I was like, wait a minute, did they verify me? Did one of my things go through? And it was like, no, you got to pay for it.
Now you got to pay for it. So it does it on Instagram as well. In fact, I put out a post like I don't know, it was like last week where it says, hey, for all you people that have the blue, I don't mean, if people want to pay for it, by all means, go ahead and pay for it. I have no problem with people paying for it. But I said something along the lines of, hey, for everyone out there that we know who you are that bought your blue check. And dude, I must have got like 20 messages of people saying, who are you talking about? Who bought their blue check? Like, and it was like, I was just being funny, man. It was like, I maybe meant it about like 1 or 2 people, but I don't really care. Good for them. Let them go buy it. Like, I'm not really worried about it, to be honest with you. I don't think no one's trying to impersonate me for the most part. So I don't really have to sweat it, I don't think.
But there's a whole group, Gene.
Now there's going to be someone that'll be like, now I got to watch it. But,
page.
What's that?
I'm going to make a page. And it's going to be Gene FitzMagic. I'm going to get a check.
I was offered a movie. I was offered a role in a movie called Gene FitzMagic. That's funny.
It's
I didn't read the script, but
your check mark overnight. Don't you worry about it. And then they're gonna have an OnlyFans.
I already have that for my feet.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Yeah. I gotta sell my feet pics. That's why I pay the bills. This isn't doing it.
Oh wow, that's
so anyway, Dominic,
get rid of that.
You're the only fan of my OnlyFans, Dominic. You know about it.
Don't out me, Gene. Christ.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I get a lot of feet offers on Instagram. Quite a few.
I can imagine that's gotta
people
be
want to
super
buy
creepy.
the nastiest stuff. They really want used, dirty, worn tights and stockings. All the good stuff in one piece. It's really...
So I think Brandon Jay McLaren stood us up, and I know he wouldn't have done that on purpose because I know I spoke to him like yesterday. So hopefully everything.
So did I.
Yeah, you did too. So I know you guys are tight, so you'll have to ask him to explain himself. And
I'll text him right now.
Yeah.
Where is he? Is he West Coast or East Coast? Because you might have got that mixed up.
I mean, I put in New York time. I always put East Coast. I ran into those problems a lot, and so I always. But that could be. You know what? To be honest, it actually happened yesterday. Our guest yesterday was Newton Mayenge, and he came in a little late because when I texted him during the commercial break, he goes, "Oh, I thought it was." He's like, "I was thinking PST, not EST." So I said, "Nope, it's EST." But
even when you put it in emails, I'm always like, "Wait a minute."
What's easier? Is it New York time or EST? What's easier to understand? New York time, I guess.
EST, I think.
EST.
Yeah.
If you could just switch to PST, that'd be
great. Thank you. So much better. All three of us.
For that one, I'll tell you guys. Oh, if it's 11:45 my time, just say 8:45. You'll get it.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'll do? I feel like then I'll screw that up. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna always do this. I'm gonna put 11:45 EST / 8:45 PST. That's what.
There you go.
I mean, it's only like 5 more buttons.
That's a very woke way of doing things. We're just all inclusive here.
We're trying. We
dumb it down completely.
But the middle of the country people, they're out.
Yeah. No.
All right, they're out. So actually, Pat, let's give Brandon a few more minutes. Let's not get into the Gwyneth Paltrow because I think we'll leave it right after that. Let's do one other quick commercial break. Just play like 2 commercials. Give someone else another plug, and then we're gonna come back and we'll talk to either Brandon J. McLaren or we'll make fun of this whole Gwyneth Paltrow situation.
Craving your favorite theme park treats right from the comfort of your home? Introducing MainStreetTreat.com. We bring your favorite treats right to your doorstep. Visit MainStreetTreat.com today and go ahead, treat yourself.
Happiness is addictive. Passionate about spreading laughter and creating smiles worldwide. Happiness is addictive brings our global community together through humor, optimism, cheer, hopefulness, and merriment. Happiness is addictive. Happiness is addictive.
All right, guys. Let's. We all know about that whole saga with Gwyneth Paltrow with the skiing accident, and I mean, who would have thought this would have been so front page news? Did you guys know it gained it had like 30 million, nearly 30 million viewers watching this trial? Like, it wasn't even like anything really crazy. It was a skiing accident. Like, it wasn't like she got. It wasn't like OJ. It was, dude. I don't understand it. Kat, what's your take on this?
It was so epic because everyone doesn't really know that much about Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, yeah, she named her kid Apple. She's on a weird diet. She seems nice. She's a Hollywood A-lister, whatever. She married a rock star. She seems she seems fine, right? She keeps her nose clean, head out of the news. But when this came out, she is portrayed as a total ice queen, frigid bitch. So it was fun to watch because you're looking at her and you're like, oh my God, what? No, that's not the girl from Shakespeare in Love. This isn't a sweetheart. She's a cold-hearted, bad person that ruined this guy's life. He's a doctor and now he can never do surgery ever again. And it's all her fault because she crashed into him, ruined his life. And then when they're questioning her on the stand, it was ridiculous because they're buttering her up and they're like, you had all of this loss. You didn't get to enjoy your full, really expensive vacation. And then her response, yeah, I mean, I lost a whole day of skiing, half a day of skiing. So yeah.
Did she really say that?
She really said that.
This
guy lost his livelihood. He lost his job, his practice, his medical career, all these things. And she's like, yeah, well, I lost half a day of skiing. So
right. You do a good Gwyneth Paltrow voice.
Thank you.
Spot on.
So, I mean, but you kind of have to understand where she's coming from, right? Like, she hasn't eaten solid food in like 12 years. I'd be like,
I don't get why. Just settle out of, like, why did it have to even go to court? Like, you obviously were wrong. Just settle.
Well, she ended up winning. So
was she wrong?
But she still hit. Like, was it like because?
Well, they found that he hit her.
I don't know, but to me, here's the thing though. Even when you're like a celebrity of that and you're that high up there, isn't it easier, regardless if you did it or not? Isn't it easier to like just pay it to go away?
Yeah.
Like if she's got more money than anybody, right? Like she's up there.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to get $3 million out of her to start.
But that's nothing for her, I'm sure. Like she probably has that in her couch cushions.
It's $3 million, and also if you're paying people off, if that's like dirt down the road. You don't want to be the person that's paying people off outside of court. I mean, look at Michael. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, I get it. But you see it. But you do see it a lot, though. You see people just, and like I feel like that would have been something that would have went away. It would have been. It was a one-time incident. It wasn't like anything habitual. It's not like she's typically a bad skier that we know of, right? Like she's not like a crazed like how I drive. She doesn't ski like that.
No.
So
and she's got the cutest outfits. They covered all of that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Those outfits, look, just those outfits alone probably could have paid some of that.
Listen. You don't want to know how much this woman spent on that trip, okay? I've seen her.
Did they say?
The plane alone to get there was at least $100,000. So that's $100,000 without cost of accommodations and the lessons and the luxury ski resort and the lift tickets and all the stuff. Like she's probably out a couple $100,000 for this vacation.
Where was she skiing? What resort? Do we know?
Mm-mm.
Was it Colorado?
I think so.
It was in Utah, wasn't it?
Was it Utah? Oh, okay, okay. I don't know. I think listen, it's one thing if I'm doing something really bad all the time, and then maybe it doesn't make sense to pay it off because it can come back later on to hurt you. But when it's something that's like an incident where somebody just got hurt and you could just settle out of court, I think I would just, if I could just have it go away and just settle out of court without all the bad press, because I feel like she looks bad at this. Like
she looks so bad. They delayed the trial an hour because she didn't like the camera was right at her face and it was just catching her scowling, resting bitch face.
That's what I'm saying. She looks like such a Karen. I mean, like here she is. Like I can't tell if that's a snicker, smile, crying.
A smile. I think that's.
I can't tell what it is, but like, and here she is. This is the typical. I'm waiting to speak to your manager. Sit. She looks like she's waiting to speak to the manager. And then Kat had this year. Kat, what did you say? She's talking to the manager, telling him what she's waiting. They ran out of what was it? Organic oat milk or something like that.
Yeah, they ran out of her organic oat milk, and they didn't have combustible straws.
There you go. So like, I don't know. I think if I'm her, I got more money than God himself, right? I gotta just go. You know what? It's not like, again, I get what Dom was saying with the Michael thing. I get it.
I was joking, but you know what I mean.
But I get what you're saying. But I'm saying point taken. This here is something different though. This was like a one-time incident. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not like she's always in the news for getting in trouble, like for like hitting people with her skis. Mm-hmm. You could pay the $3 million and it goes away. You both go your separate ways. Nobody probably even knows about it. It might make TMZ and kind of goes away in a couple days.
But it would have been better than this PR nightmare.
That's what I'm saying. Like I get when you don't want to pay somebody off, it's because you're afraid that now everyone's gonna have their hand out for every other thing. But it's not like she was constantly like running people over a scheme. It's not like she does it every weekend. It's not like so it's happening. Then I can see it. But this is like an isolated incident. Just pay the money, move on, and no one hates you anymore. Like now, I feel like people are kind of like enough with Gwyneth Paltrow. Nobody wants to see her anything.
I think she made the right move. She won
Really?
$1.
Yeah, I agree with Matt.
She saved $3 million, and it was weird as fuck. But in like 2 months from now, I don't think anyone's gonna be talking about it. She'll be doing her weirdo bullshit that she does, selling
vagina candles.
Vagina candles.
Listen, I can't fault her on that.
Yeah.
I would definitely sell a vagina candle that smells like my lady bits,
Yeah.
That's for her. And it's
wait, I don't even know about this. Is she selling these?
She's
this is a thing?
They sold out in like 10
vagina.
minutes or whatever it was. Less.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
How did I miss this?
Expensive.
That's fucked up, man.
It's so weird. First off, how did she work out the scent? Like, how do you come up with the scent?
Wow.
Oh god.
I think there was
people in the office are like, "Wait, what are we doing?" Put their legs up and like the gynecologist thing.
Could you imagine being?
Come on in, start
and then
sniffing.
pitching the idea, and it's like I'd be like, "This is like being punked or something, right? Like we're not selling that." I didn't realize that's what she was selling. I thought you were joking around. That's the actual.
No, it's real.
I actually sold it, and it did really well.
Well, you can make money doing it.
I had no idea about that either. That's fucking insane.
I love that she sells vagina candles and her company name is Goop. That just like it's just wrong.
That's so gross.
It's so weird on so many levels. I don't know if it's offensive or not, but it's just so weird.
I love it because I think it reflects of how fucking crazy we are as a society at this point. Like it's just a huge mirror going, you guys, 30 million of you are going to watch this and enjoy it and love it. And this is a woman that basically pretends to be other people. We've given her this fucking life and money and everything. It's just, I love it because it shows how awful we are as a society.
And I get it because listen, I was glued to the Johnny Depp thing. I was all into that.
So
It was almost like they couldn't have scripted it to be funnier. Like they weren't even scripting it. It was every day there'd be something funny. Like how many voice sound bites came out of that trial with something Johnny Depp said? Like every day there was something new on Instagram, right, or on YouTube with it.
Too bad they didn't work out. They seem like a good couple.
And that Amber Heard, she seemed like a real straight shooter. I'm surprised it didn't pan out. But man,
Can you imagine getting in a fight with your significant other and you go, "I'm gonna shit in the bed now." Like, what? It's also your bed.
Did you ever see the SNL skit with that?
No.
They did an SNL skit. I think it was I can't remember who played the custodian that or like their house like their butler who walks in and finds it, and then the maid walks in and they start blaming each other. Like every 5 minutes somebody else walks in that works at the house. Yeah. And it's like they're all talking about it. I forget who played the role.
Yeah, talk about maybe shouldn't have done that lawsuit. Fucking Amber Heard came off looking brutal.
I think she had nothing to lose.
Johnny Depp didn't look great either, but Amber Heard came off bad. And then she like doubled down on a horrible interview right after, and you're like, just go away for a while.
Who's instructing you on how to do these things?
Yeah.
But you know what? Johnny Depp might not look great either, but he came off super funny though. Like I actually want to hang out with Johnny Depp more after that trial than I did before.
Yeah, well, I mean, he won, right? So
well, it's not even winning though. I thought like every time they'd show him on the stand, he had something funny to say. Like it was like a stand-up show for him.
What was it? Yeah, what was it? The mega pint of wine?
Mega pint.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had no problems talking about everything he did, and he owned up to it, and I thought he was funny, man. Like I said, I would love to see like a funny like reenactment of that whole trial. Like, and you don't even have to change the script to make it funny.
Like a Lifetime movie. I'll play Johnny Depp.
There you go. You can play Johnny Depp. Yeah, you don't have to change the script. Just use it word for word. Yeah, and it still plays. So guys, you know what we're gonna get in a little early because Brandon couldn't make it. Did you hear back from him, Matt?
No, yeah, me too. Thanks a lot, Brando. You fuck.
Caleb Pickett says great show, team. Thanks, man. I think Caleb will be back on tomorrow. So can't wait to see him. And thank you for the confidence boost there, my man. That's the big boss right there. I feel like at the end of the show we should always have him come in and it'd be almost like remember the old Def Comedy Jam where Martin Lawrence would always introduce Russell Simmons. I feel like we got to always introduce Caleb Pinkett at the end.
Yeah.
But you know what? Thank you for popping in, man. I appreciate it. You know what? So yeah, Brandon Jay McLaren couldn't make it, but we'll reach out to him. We'll definitely get a redo on that. He's always good at getting back to me, so I don't think this should be an issue. I think maybe it might have been the time issue, like Matt said, as far as the PST, EST, and I guess now I gotta.
Actors are easily confused, Gene. We're easily confused.
Yeah.
I've come to find that out. So
we shit in beds, we screw up times, we're easily confused.
you run people over with your skis.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many
Yeah, so-
megabytes.
And we're usually starving, so the brain function is a little.
Yeah.
There you go. So guys, you know what? Let's call what it is. We're gonna come back with Brandon at another time. So we're gonna end the show a little early because that was our time slot for Brandon. But guys, we'll see you tomorrow. A whole new cast of people. I think Dominic is here tomorrow as well. Actually, or is it? No, you'll be here Thursday. I'm sorry.
On Thursday.
Oh, Kat will be here tomorrow.
With
Matt,
all of your expert stats, I'm gonna have them on deck.
she's watching every game tonight. She's watching them on replay. Everything. She's gonna have every stat we need. She's gonna be big on that recap of the Celtics Philly game. So we got that. And Matt will be back this week. You're actually shooting something this week, right?
Shooting something. Although I just got a text, they're moving a day till tomorrow from Thursday, so I might be able to go Thursday. But you probably already filled that. Either way,
We might have. We'll talk after the show. But
it's not a big deal. But I'll be back next week. I'll be on the East Coast next week, so it won't be as bad.
So I can actually use the real time.
Yeah.
We don't worry about it. At least as long as you're thinking East Coast. But guys, so for Matt, Dom, Kat, I'm G FitzMagic. Have a great today, better tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
That's the pop off for today, folks. Thank you to all of our listeners, as well as our producers, Patty Puddles and Fareed Kameo. And make sure you tune in tomorrow to hear what these hooligans will pop off about next.